Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Broadchurch. Last time around, there was a boat. There was the psychic guy who was revealed to be a fraud, or at least the police believe he's a fraud, but what if he's actually... I'm pretty sure he's a fraud. I have no sympathy for that guy. That unfortunately leaves Beth broken again. Happens, unfortunately, a lot to Beth. Paparazzi lady wanted to write a piece on Danny so that there would be more paparazzi, and that is exactly what happened, and it sucks. There's the whole thing with Jack Marshall, that he is now a prime suspect because he had a previous conviction for having sex with a child, so... That's not great. That doesn't look good. But we still have a lot of suspects. Hardy went over for dinner with Miller. That went pretty well. Yeah. I'm sure there was more. Can't for the life of me remember it right now. That's okay. I'll remember the important details once the episode goes on. So yeah. Also, last episode, we were actually good. The claim got released on last episode, so we left it in the YouTube video. Again, though, it's real shot in the dark, with each episode. I don't know if it's going to get hit or if it's not going to get hit. So, if we have to go to a highlight reaction, once again, it is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. But if not, then just stick around here and the reaction will start up here on YouTube. Let's go ahead and find out as we get into this episode of Broadchurch. Here we go. Okay. So they're recreating the events they know. Well, there's a lot of people for something like this, I feel like. Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna say, I'm not entirely sure what reconstruction is or does for this.
Police are hoping the reconstruction will jog people's memories for vital evidence surrounding
Okay.
his death.
I get that.
You selfish, childish, egotistical, self-centered bastard.
Yeah.
2 children. 15 I've been with you since. Do you still fancy me?
Of course I do.
No. Not of course you do. You had sex with someone else. Why?
I mean...
What don't you get from me? Truthfully.
I mean, girl, it's not about you. It's his own fucking insecurities.
But if I'm dull, it's only because I've never slept with anyone apart from you.
It wasn't about you, Beth.
You make me feel so special, thanks, Mark. Becca, then. What's so great about her that's worth risking all this for?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
All I know about her is she has cocaine.
I just felt trapped, Beth. And that's why I did it. And I wish to God I hadn't. And I wish to God that I could get our old, predictable, beautiful life back. Because what I wouldn't give for that right now. But I can't, can I?
No.
I don't want to lose you, Beth. But I think I already have.
I'm pregnant.
Oh, shit.
You have to keep it.
I don't have to do anything you say right now.
And the closing headlines. Hundreds of residents in the town of Broadchurch
That was
lined
perfectly
the streets
timed.
tonight to watch the reconstruction.
Oh, that was a lot, man. But it was an interesting talk. There wasn't, like, anger from him or anything, but, of course it would break Beth more.
Funny thing is, Mark confirmed the phone was Danny's when Jack handed it to him, but I always saw Danny with a smartphone like Tom's.
Why does a kid his age have 2 phones?
Nah.
How can he afford this arming?
cash we found in his
Why does a
room.
kid his age have one phone? Get him a flip
That
phone
money
for
had come from
God's
Jack
sake.
Marshall.
How long would someone get sent to prison for if they killed someone?
I don't know, 20 years or something? Why are you asking?
I just wondered. Innocent lad.
I know. We all do.
No, it's not the kid. It's not Tom. It's the murder's way too involved to be him, and they already kind of ruled it out anyway with the large hands.
You work late.
Jesus, what are you doing here?
Thought I'd come and see you.
No, you didn't. Go away, Lucy. We've got nothing to say to each other.
What?
What?
You won't even hear me out.
Are you
Who is
ready to
this?
seek proper professional help? Right, what did you see the night Danny was killed? What night was it even?
It was a Thursday.
Yeah, go on then.
Lend me that grand, I'll tell you.
I didn't even know you.
What the hell?
What, quarter of a mile?
No, actually, his house is a lot closer than that. It's literally on top of the beach.
And you haven't put that in there?
Didn't think.
Thinking definitely helps, Ollie.
Nah. It's one thing that the two of you don't do.
Fifth parish. Shall we send?
Really?
Well, they're waiting.
Send.
He just wants to get into her pants. Look at him.
What are you doing?
Sorry.
Beth, didn't expect to see you. Do you want a drink?
Oh God.
Okay, that's enough. Christ's sake! All right, that's enough. That's enough. I'm doing your windows.
My husband, yes, because I will nail you to the floor before I let you wreck 15 years of my life.
I am sorry. If we'd known what was going to
Don't
happen.
you dare. Don't you dare bring that into it. Come near my
It doesn't-
family again, and I'll break your fucking face.
Oh shit.
Okay,
I believe that too.
understood.
Let's get some air.
Do you know what she did?
Yeah, I'm getting the gist.
Yeah, please talk to the good reverend. Dear God. If you had known what was going to happen. Shouldn't have done it anyway, no matter if a kid is dead or not. Jeez.
I used to be in the Sea Brigade.
Hey, Jacob
Jack
Anderson.
Marshall threw me out. That's when he come round, put his arm on my shoulder. I was like, no thanks, mate. No works for me. Didn't like me after that.
Oh. A friend. That's for Karen. God damn it. Oh, it was Dean, wasn't it? That was Jacob Anderson's name. I was about to put Grey Worm because I couldn't remember.
Are you sure about this?
We all know what he's like, and the police are doing nothing.
Well, when we're finished here, you need to put this in a statement to the police, okay?
But you're gonna use it. Everyone's gonna know what Jack did. You said if I ever needed anything.
Yeah, of course. People need to know.
Oh my God. Can we get a redemption arc on Karen, please? Can she do this properly? Let the police do the job.
He said I had to keep it.
I think he's right.
Oh, well, if the men think that's what's best, let's do it. I ate it. This thing growing inside me. I don't want it. It's not right. Danny should be growing. I'm not done with him yet. I want him.
You don't know it's Jack Marshall. You don't know it ain't.
But you don't know that it is. God damn it. What kind of game is that? It's a hot dog game, I guess. Oh, it's Susan.
Hello, boy.
And her dog.
You know, that's you.
Oh.
Don't
Oh,
normally
he's so
like
cute.
kids. You can take him for a walk sometime if you like.
Really?
I'm over at the caravan park, 3 back from the beach. Number 3 on the door. You knock for him whenever you want.
Absolutely not. Dude, even if there wasn't an active murder investigation, I do not think so.
No wonder your boss couldn't resist it. It's a good story. I wish it wasn't. You brought a shit fight frenzy down on us now.
Not me, Jack Marshall.
No, you! You did this! You always do this!
I was a music teacher. She was a pupil. No boys involved, a girl. I'm sure you can fill in the gaps.
Who told the police?
Her father, I was made an example of. Served a year, She was 15 years and 11 months. Another 4 weeks and 1 day, and nothing would have been amiss.
Well, there is a difference between the UK and the US.
Did you have any contact with the girl after you were released?
I married her the week after I was released.
Damn.
She was 17. I was 40.
What Marshall said doesn't alter the fact. He has a conviction, he's still a suspect. Can't be distracted by him or this press. We persevere with the evidence.
Are we on?
Yes.
I mean, it's true that it's still not good, but...
500? Is that what I'm worth?
It's all I could get. You see that van? I got a crossbow in that van. I ain't messing about.
We need to find a way of working this out.
Boy, you never really see people in the countryside threaten someone with a crossbow. Wow.
Sea Brigade, Jack Marshall. I got a call from one of the other dads. They're rounding up a posse to get him.
Rounding up a posse? Call the police!
Let's not be daft here. We're just here to sort of Jack. There's no meeting here tonight. No boys are coming here, Jack. We don't want you near our kids. We don't feel safe with that.
You don't have kids, Nigel.
Yeah, I was about to say, Nigel, why are you here?
Yeah, well...
We married. We had a son together. He died. Age 6, car accident. She was driving. The grief ripped us apart, so I came here. Fresh start. They're saying I wanted to hug the boy because I'm a paedophile. It was never that. I missed my boy. I miss touching him, holding him. I miss my boy every day.
Come on, Mark. I think he could understand this, but...
I would never harm Danny. We're the same, Mark. No parent should outlive their child. Your boy, he's a good boy.
Mark, you okay?
Yeah. Go home, boys.
What's he saying to you, mate? Go home! Now! The lot of you!
Okay. Well, yeah, I think we can at least mostly rule out Jack.
It's not safe.
Damn. That was a really good fucking moment for Mark. Jesus. But yeah, this isn't...
Which one is it?
He's not here. He's gone.
When did you last see the boat?
8 weeks ago.
The whole thing?
The motor and everything.
Why'd you leave the motor on it?
Well, Dad always did.
Yeah, and I always told him not to.
No.
Do you think it could be the boat that was burned?
Huh.
It's late, Oliver.
Listen. Do you fancy a drink one night?
Sorry, I'm married, Brian.
That's an issue, is it?
Happily married, Brian.
Oh. Okay, fair enough. Only lots of people aren't, though, are they?
I am.
Good. Well, there we go. Do you need anything from the kitchen? A cup of tea? Or...
No, I'm fine, thanks, though.
Brian, chill. Okay, that was weird.
Oh, and, funny thing. I had to tell someone. Socko Brian just asked me out.
Brian, why would you do that?
Oh, thanks a lot.
You're married.
Well, that's what I told him, but it didn't seem to faze him.
Flattering?
Sort of. But it's Socko, they've had the hands everywhere.
Dusty Brian.
Yeah.
No.
So, do you think we'll get them together?
Well.
You didn't on Sandbrook.
How long you been waiting to bring that up?
I haven't.
No.
Sandbrook was different. A mistake was made. A big mistake.
Were you?
I don't want to talk about it.
Ah, you got me so curious, man. It'll be like a penultimate episode kind of thing. Which is not that too far off, honestly.
Can we not listen to the news?
Just in general. Even if it wasn't today.
There must be
be a bloody hard job running this place.
Meh.
You have no idea.
How'd you relax?
I have my ways.
Mark Latimer, I think that's how she relaxes.
Gonna relax a bit with me here? Tonight?
God, no. No, I mean, it's not what I meant.
Sorry.
No, I mean, it's not that I wouldn't, or that you're not.
No, of course. It's just...
I'd be worried
Worried.
that you'd collapse on me.
She goes that hard.
Thanks.
Meh.
So small, they just didn't
Good, they can smile and remember Danny. A dark secret. Oh, for God's sake. Oh no. As soon as it cut to Miller and Hardy on that beach, I was like, oh shit, he killed himself. The show's good. Okay, let's just start with that. Like, this show's really good. Like, I'm astounded by how good this show is. And again, you know, it's so different than anything I watch, even just on the channel. Like, I don't watch dramas on the channel, but oh man. And I will say, this really is more of a drama than anything, because like, I feel like, because I was thinking like, okay, we're on episode 5, we're over halfway through this season. I get the feeling that the story of Danny Latimer is only going to last this season, you know? At least that's what I think. I guess I could be wrong. But I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, we're over halfway through this season. We've only got 3 episodes left. We need to do a suspect roundup and work on evidence. However, 2 of our main suspects, I really don't think. Because one of them is dead. Jack Marshall is dead. And the other is Mark Latimer. And honestly, I don't think it's Mark Latimer. I know we have not ruled him out, but I really don't think it's Mark. So, I don't think it's Mark. I don't think it was Jack. I mean, I don't know. I guess there's something with Tom because he deleted those messages. I think Tom might know something. Like, I don't think he was involved, but I think he might know something. You know? Honestly, that leaves Nige, for some reason, who has a crossbow in his van, and Susan, the most untrusting person on the face of the earth. Like, Tom needs to get right the hell... Like, even if there was not an active murder going on, like, no, I don't care how small of a town it is. Like, if a woman's like, oh yeah, just come over to my house and you can walk my dog, like, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. That no child should do this. Strange. And now maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's from an American perspective of like, look, you know how much shit goes on in the United States? It's fucking horrible how much shit can happen in the United States. And shit can happen everywhere, but a lot of shit happens in the United States. So, absolutely goddamn not. No, Tom is not doing that. Even though, I mean, the dog's innocent. Unless the dog unless the dog somehow choked Danny, but I don't think so. Unless it's just got one hell of a tail, but that doesn't... Obviously, that wouldn't match up with anything, so... Which, also, just because, where I paused the episode, it's the beginning of the credits, so it says, created and written by Chris Chibnall. I gotta say, this is clearly this is what the man needs to be writing. He didn't need to be writing Doctor Who. But I just had a thought that with Doctor Who, I think this may be why his historical episodes were so damn good, was because they were more drama than anything else. Like between Rosa and demons, Nikola Tesla, that sort of stuff, like those were mainly dramas that also had aliens in them. I think that's why those historicals were so damn good, because those episodes played to what he's good at. And he's good at this. He's good at drama, So, I mean, Chris Chibnall, honestly, I feel like he's kind of like Rian Johnson, where it's like, all right, you tried to do a big sci-fi thing. 2 varying results. Look, I'm not going to say it's all bad. There are parts of The Last Jedi that I absolutely love. There are parts of The Last Jedi I absolutely hate. It's kind of the same thing for the Chibnall era of Doctor Who. But then you get something like this. Chibnall writes this. Rian Johnson does Knives Out and Glass Onion. And it's like, oh, that's what you were supposed to be doing. I getcha. Or even... Rian Johnson did a couple episodes of Breaking Bad. He directed a couple episodes of Breaking Bad. Like, oh, I get it. I get it now. That's what you're supposed to be doing. This is what Chris Chibnall is supposed to be doing. Because, god damn it, this is so dramatic. Very dramatic. Alrighty. Mark and Beth. I guess we can start there. I gotta say that conversation, I like the conversation, even though, there's no way to excuse what Mark did, There's no way to excuse or even forgive what Mark did. I think he handled that conversation pretty well. I don't know if it was the best way, but I think he handled it pretty well because... goodness, there's no easy way of saying any of that, but I think he handled that, I don't know if mature is the right word, but he handled it calmly. He never got defensive. He simply, he apologized, he laid out his reasons, and he laid that out to Beth, and Beth, she had every right to, be angry at him. So I think that conversation went about as well as it could have, So I like that. I do love Beth going into the hotel and breaking all of Becca's shit, Now, Becca's an interesting character, too, especially with her interactions with Hardy as well. Because it's very clear, it's like, this is not a bad person. It's just somebody who made a mistake. And it's kind of the same thing with Mark, is that Mark is not a bad person. Mark made a mistake, Now, the whole thing of, if we had known what was going to happen, it's like, well, no. That's not what you're supposed to say. Again, now that's Becca not handling the conversation well. Because again, Mark was like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done this. Here's the reason why. Does that make it okay? I'm not making excuses, I'm just explaining why. It's not good, and the timing was obviously even worse, This would have been a terrible thing either way, but on top of the fact that our son died, Whereas Becca didn't handle it quite as well. Luckily, Paul was there. And again, Paul, I think, I don't think it's Paul. That would be an interesting twist. But they're not building it up enough, They're not building it up enough. And of course, we also have, the whole thing with Nige and his crossbow for some reason. And Susan. Which, that's such a weird thing. It's like, oh, I got a crossbow in my van. And it's like, okay. Like, I mean, I guess, is that just all you can get in the UK? I mean, yeah. I don't think in the UK they have, Walmarts where you can just buy guns and stuff like in the US. But yeah, it just, as an American, that seemed like a weird threat. That I feel like that would be the same thing of being like, oh, stay away from me. I have a bastard sword in my van. Like, okay. Like, that's quite the thing. Like, I guess you just can't get a gun. Like, I'm not saying you should have any of this or not you should be involved in any of this. I'm just saying it's such a weird friggin' threat. Like, oh, I've got a crossbow. Like, oh, shit, okay. Going a bit medieval, alright. But yeah. But Becca definitely didn't handle that well. But again, I don't think it's Mark. And especially, I think the thing that epitomizes, I think, the innocence of Mark and Jack is the scene they have together when they talk, where you can see in both of them, it's neither of them, It's absolutely neither of them. So, yeah. I guess we could talk about Chloe, but at the same time, I don't really want to talk about Chloe. Because here's the thing, is, you could be annoyed with Chloe, but A, her little brother died. B, she's a teenager. She's not always going to think rationally. And C, she's a teenager whose little brother died. She really won't be thinking anything rational. She's going to Karen of all people. Meanwhile, like because they're always like, oh, the police are doing nothing. The police are doing something every goddamn minute of the day. Like, stop. That's not, no. They are doing something literally every minute of the day. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't. They're not Santa Claus, It's not like Santa Claus of like, oh, it's like, just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's not real. Just because you can't see the police working doesn't mean they're not working their asses off to get the killer, But again, she is a teenage girl whose little brother just died. Was murdered. That is not something a teenager or anybody needs to handle, let alone a teenager. Ugh. And yeah, the whole thing of, he wanted to hug boys and stuff like that. And then, honestly, like, I see it, and especially just on the fact that he did kill himself, is like, no, it was all true. It was all true. That it's not, it's not that he was a pedophile, it's that he missed his son, And yeah, that is a very big difference, too, that it's like, he specifically... It's like, yes, he did have a past conviction, and what he did still wasn't good, but it's not what everyone was saying. That they weren't getting the full story, Alright, I guess we should talk about Ollie and Karen. Fuck Ollie and Karen. I'm so tired of that little shit simping over this terrible fucking reporter. The only thing I can think now, though, is I hope there is some sort of Karen redemption arc, Because it's fucking annoying. It's like she is literally not helping anything and just making things worse. To the point that, honestly, because she says, like, oh, it's... Because at least... What's it? Maggie, the head reporter at the Echo, when she says, like, oh, you've brought this, shit show on us. And it's like, oh, I didn't do that. Jack Marshall did. And it's like, no, you did this. By reporting this, getting everyone into a frenzy, and they were going to fucking hang Jack Marshall. They were going to beat the ever-loving shit out of this elderly man. And because you keep printing fucking stories about this, Jack Marshall is dead. Suspect or not, killer or not, a man is dead because of these stories. So fuck Karen, and fuck Ollie, that little shit. These actors are good because I want to punch him and his Grant Gustin looking face. Oh my god. Has Ollie been in anything else that I've seen? I want to believe he has. Jonathan Bailey. Man, he looks jacked in this picture, I gotta say. He's got like facial hair and shit. I don't see anything. Alright. Well, I hope to see him in something better someday. Fuck Ollie. And even the whole thing where it's like, oh, her editor basically rewrote the story to be more sensational and stuff, and she was like, oh, that's not how I wrote it, and that's not right. And it's like, what are you complaining about? And it's like, oh, now you know what it feels like, you bitch. Now you know how it feels. Just in general, not even anything specific. That's how it feels. Just, I have no sympathy for Karen and Ollie. Just these fucking... Because that's the thing, and I'm glad we figured this out last episode. They're not journalists. They're not reporters. They're paparazzi. You know? They're paparazzi, and the paparazzi incited a mob that was going to go beat the shit out of Jack Marshall. And now he's dead. And the next time that Hardy sees Ollie and Karen, I hope he fucking lays into them. You know what? No. I hope the next time Miller sees them, she lays into them. You know? I think that'll be more effective than Hardy. Also, it's Ollie's boat. That's also just a thing, okay? I mean, I guess they know whose boat it is, but... Nah. Also, Socko Brian? What the hell was that about? I don't know, but I did like that moment where... Because of all the people she could tell this to, Hardy is kind of weird, but I like that he kind of played into it. They are starting to become more friendly to each other. And so I like that he was like, that's weird. You're married. And it's like, yeah, but it didn't seem to faze him. It's like, well, that's weird, you know? So, I at least like that. I like moments of, I guess, bonding between Hardy and Miller. So, is it weird that I say Miller instead of Ellie? What else is there? Not really, I guess. There's not really much else, I think. I think I covered most of it. But yeah. Jack Marshall. It's not always what you think it is, you know? Because, I mean, there have been a lot of things, especially recently, and this was 2013 when this came out, but there have been things since 2013, people coming out against people giving all these accusations. And a lot of times that's true. Sometimes it's not true. I.e. Johnny Depp. So, don't always jump to conclusions, I guess. But if something's real, 'cause there are certainly a lot of times where it was real. I could name a dozen celebrities where all those accusations... But sometimes it's not. And in the case of Jack Marshall, it wasn't. Yes, he did go to prison for a year because he had sex with an underage girl, which apparently the limit in Britain is 16. I've learned something, apparently. In the US, it's 18, I'm pretty sure. Well, I mean, 18... Once you turn 18, you're not a minor anymore. I guess that's the same thing. So yeah. I mean, let me put it to you this way, because it's the whole thing of, he was a music teacher, she was a 15-year-old student, thus he got arrested. And he said if she was 16, there wouldn't have been any problem. I guarantee you in the US, 16, that's still a fucking problem. And if she's a student at the school, still a fucking problem. Still a fucking problem. Especially, I mean, there's between the age and the student. That's two very specific things. They did a whole episode about this on Friends, so it's credible. But there was, well, I guess not an episode. There was like a lot of episodes where Ross was dating this one of his students, basically. Now, she was in college. She was of age, but eventually it came out to the other teachers, and they were like, "Oh, well, you're fired." And he was like, "Oh shit, that's not just frowned upon." It's like, no, that's against the rules. So yeah, bit of different standards. It happens. There are differences between the UK and the US, but yeah, it's not good. But yeah, then the whole thing of like, yeah, he's not a pedophile towards all the little boys at Broadchurch, you know? He just missed his son. Man, fucking talk to people. Like, okay, like, Karen runs this whole story. Did you try talking to Jack Marshall about it? Now, granted, it took a while, because he wasn't even talking about it with Hardy and Miller. But he wasn't talking about it with Hardy and Miller until, you know, there were mobs at his store. But and then that moment between Jack and Mark, that was strong. That was a strong moment between the two of them where, you know, he says, I missed my son. Is it bad for a man to want affection? To miss his dead son? And yeah, it's like, that would hit Mark. Of course that would hit Mark. They're in the exact same situation. And it's in that moment where I feel like you can completely, I guess, exonerate the both of them. You know, it's like the emotion that the two of them share there. I don't believe it was either of them. And now, Jack Marshall's dead anyway. But I definitely don't think it was Mark. So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I was going to do a thing where I rounded up all our suspects and, you know, reviewed the evidence. But our two biggest suspects, one is dead and one, I really just don't believe it was Mark, you know? So all that leaves is Susan, the most sus woman on the planet, and Nige, for some reason. Yeah, and he's got a crossbow in his van. And with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alrighty folks, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist for all of my Broadchurch reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.